And we are live. And as I just learned from one of our viewers in the chat, Brad Palmer, today is Wednesday, not Thursday. I had it in my mind for the entire day that today was Thursday, but it's actually Wednesday. What do you know? Welcome back to the first live stream in over a week. I think a week and 2 days since the last time I went live, although I did go live once from the Dominican on Instagram. And I see some people in the chat. Upstate New York, Bob, Can't Sleep, Susie, Marie Palmer, NF, Andrew, Michael Nguyen, Anita Smith, Wesley, Sapand is here, Dakota, Sheena, Pete. I think I saw Vivian Johnson, Brad Palmer as well, and some other people, such as Novell Cost. Welcome to the stream. I am extremely out of it. I don't even know what day it is. I was thinking, being my first day back, but having not streamed in a while, was going to go outside and stream, and it's kind of a nice day. It's like 5 degrees outside. I just don't have the energy. Have you ever gone on vacation and then when you come back you feel like you need a vacation from the vacation? That is exactly what I'm going through. I just feel completely wiped out. I have no idea why. Not sick, not coughing or anything like that. I'm just, maybe a week of just drinking from 10 a.m. till midnight will do that to you while lying on a beach. I don't know, but either way, I'm here. So we're going with the home stream tonight. Josephine Halligan, 149 pounds. Thank you, Josephine, for your support. And huge thanks to Vivian Johnson as well for a very large super during this morning's premiere. And since I'm going through a bit of a detox, not that I'm that type of person or believe in that, but I stepped on the scale today and found that this is the heaviest I have ever weighed in my adult life. And that's I don't know. I think you just naturally get a bit heavier as you get older, but that's kind of an odd thing. So yeah, I've been taking it easy. I've decided not to drink for a while. I'm just going to try to eat well and get back out and start walking everywhere. So instead of my usual adult beverage, we're going to have a cherry Coca-Cola Zero. So cheers to everyone. Pete Sylvester says, Cheap Eats Toronto, you need suggestions. Massini on Danforth for some excellent but affordable Greek food. There's the Economy House on Okonomi, I think is the real way to say it. Novell Cost says, let me guess, 175. Would you believe 179.8? Mind you, that's with like clothes on, but yeah, I almost broke 180, which is just nuts. I'm going to try to get back down into the healthy 160s, but that's my problem, not your problem. I'll walk it off. But yeah, we're going to have Coke Zero tonight instead. Maybe I'll hit a drink later. I was thinking tomorrow would be Friday, and then Saturday in my mind, I already had like my Saturday walks mapped out. I was going to go do 2 walks early and get back so I could watch UFC, which is starting a little early, to watch Leon Edwards hopefully defend his title versus Kamaru Usman, but successfully defend his title. Of course, he'll be defending it. But yeah, I've got like a whole extra day on my hands. So cheers. SR Gots, congrats. That is a hell of a change. Good for you. Lisa's saying howdy. So tonight I've got some background videos. Not all of them were recorded by me. Some of them were recorded by a seatmate. We'll just call them that. Because I didn't have the window seat the whole way. But I'll get started on that. But while I was waiting for the chat or the stream to get going, I got an advertisement for this thing on Instagram, the Feiyu Pocket 3. And I almost just bought it without doing any research or homework at all, just because it looks effing awesome. It's got basically, I killed one of these on the beach in the Dominican. So I am down to just one good camera. I had 4 in total. Now we've got just 1. So I'm in the market. I'm probably just going to buy a second one of these, but I saw this and it's got a detachable camera head. And what's really, really cool about that is it's got a magnet built in. So you can like take that off and like stick it to the roof of a car. Like that is awesome. There's ways you could mount it to a bicycle that I can't do with this. It's basically the same camera otherwise, but it seems to have a way better camera sensor. So anyways, yeah, I'm gonna research this and possibly order it after this live stream. Yeah, you know me and gadgets, right? I don't buy clothes. I don't. Anything I spend is basically on tech or traveling or yeah. Anyways, we'll get into that later. So let me just kick off a video to play in the background. We are at Pearson Airport and we're going to be taking off. This is just the taxiing on the runway. We're going to take off. We're going to get an awesome view of Toronto. Part of this was featured in the video I posted, Toronto to Punta Cana, and we're going to get a seriously killer view of the Toronto skyline and then a few clips of flying over Punta Cana and then landing at Punta Cana. Chris Mills says, what phase is the Kickstarter in? Apparently they're ready to ship next month. Pete Sylvester says, I'm finally in Toronto. I got a sublet. Congrats. So if you're new to these streams, I know I'm normally out walking around. Just feel free to chat amongst yourselves. Ask me literally anything and everything. I don't have to answer, but you're free to ask. Really, there's not much that's not on the table. And yeah, we're just going to kind of hang out while some videos play in the background. That's kind of the plan for tonight. I was thinking this was Thursday. Normally I do these home streams on every other Friday. So either tomorrow or Friday, I'll get out and do a live stream. I've got my brand new microphone system, the DJI Pocket, which is pretty awesome. And I was using this, and it's got a built-in charge case, and you can charge 2 recording devices. And this thing here just plugs right into my streaming phone. So I get like really good high-quality audio wirelessly streaming. It's a lot slicker than my Rode Wireless Go, and I actually like the quality better. So yeah, I'm kind of jazzed about having this because I've got this like super high quality dual mic system that I can just throw in the backpack and bring with me anywhere. So yeah, all these videos weren't recorded with this. I just used the onboard camera recorder for this. But someone says, was Swoop worth it? Says Aaron Train. You know what? My flight to Punta Cana, we got to the gate 30 minutes later than scheduled, and my flight back to Toronto, we got to the gate like 30 minutes later than scheduled. That was literally the only thing that went wrong with the airline, so I consider that like a huge win. I had no problems with Swoop. Literally, it's just a plane. The Wi-Fi was kind of slow and shitty, and you had to pay for it. But yeah, I mean, I would not hesitate to fly with them again. Flight attendants were good. Everyone was friendly. It was comfortable enough. You don't really need an entertainment system on a 4-hour flight. Would I fly with Flair? I don't know. But I would fly with Swoop. I would fly with Porter again as well. So yeah, man, my advice is if you're searching for a flight and Swoop comes up and it's a few dollars cheaper, I wouldn't personally hesitate to take it. I probably would. They kind of nickel and dime you on things like checking bags, snacks, all that sort of thing. But even then, their prices aren't like out of this world. If you want a Coke, it's like $3. If you want a snack, it's like $7. So it's not terrible. It is what it is. It was cheap. It got us there. I give it like an 8 out of 10. I don't know. I'm not really qualified. The seat had USB. It had power adapters. Yeah, Swoop was good. I mean, I got a little worried because our boarding time was like 2:15 and the flight was scheduled to leave at like 2:50 and it was like 2:30 and the flight coming in hadn't even landed yet, and they didn't change the sign to say that our flight was delayed. But somehow like the plane landed and they turned it around in like 15 minutes and we were taking off as scheduled. So yeah, no complaints. No complaints. Chris Mills says Flair is having liquidity issues. Yeah, they had 4 of their planes repossessed. A lot of these airlines, what they do is they actually lease their planes. And normally the leasing companies give these airlines a bit of rope. So if they fall behind their payments, it's usually okay. Flair was behind for like 1 day and they had their planes repossessed. But from a leasing company point of view, they had other clients willing to take those planes at a higher rate than Flair was paying, and technically they were within the rights of the contract to repossess the plane. So yeah, that's 100% on Flair. Sorry, I can't feel bad for their CEOs crying because he didn't pay his bills. They took the planes away. That's in the contract, right? Can't Sleep says, did you get sunburned? My calves did. Everything else is fine. But when I went down to like, my hotel had a jet tub in it. So when I went to take a nice long bath and I like dropped my legs into it, they were burning. So yeah, I obviously didn't put enough sunscreen on my calves. But no, I didn't really burn. I was using like a heavy SPF sunscreen, and I did a very good job. I think I did. I didn't look like a lobster for the first time. Someone asked me, so the real question, Mexico or the Dominican Republic? Depends. It depends, but... Oh, Gustavo says, so the big question, Mexico or Dominican, your favorite? I'm not a resort person. I did go to 2 5-star resorts, though, in the last year. One in Mexico, one in the Dominican. If I could go back, the Dominican had the way better beach. That was like one of the best beaches I've ever been to. I was not expecting it to be like as good as it was, but that, like, the beach in Bavaro is incredible. Beach was better. Everything else in Mexico was better. Food was way better. The resort was better. The staff communicated better. Like, it was just way better in Mexico, but you can't knock that beach in Dominican. That was killer. But of course, I'm just comparing 2 random places, so I don't know. I'd be happy to go to either one, I guess. Rebecca says, love the footage from the DR, Johnny. My partner and I were just there in January. Were you traveling there on your own? I went with 2 travel companions, one of whom was recording some of the video that you'll see. Basically, I was like, I got the window seat for landings and takeoffs. You guys can have it whenever else. And someone was like, well, what if I held the camera? I was like, then you can have the window seat. So that's the way that worked. Crystal says, Johnny Strides, did you meet any nice chicas? I'm assuming you mean gals. I met some friendly other tourists, but no, it was not like that kind of singles adult resort. So yeah, Chris Mills says the DR is okay if you stay in the resort. The resort area outside, like the area outside of the resort, actually looked pretty decent. It was pretty walkable. But yeah, this part is me doing the recording, by the way. This part is me. Who is... Oh, I gotta notice. You are now live on your channel. Oh, by the way, the video that Ken just posted, check it out, by the way. It's a really neat video. He got a sneak peek of the St. Patrick's Day parade. One of our viewers actually reached out to me, and unfortunately I wasn't able to get my shit together to go and do that, and I really regret that. But fortunately, he had the idea to offer that to Ken. So thank you, Ken, for going out and covering it. So check that video out. The St. Patrick's Day parade, I think, is on Sunday. It's on the 19th. You know, I'm not very good with dates, so I'm going to try to go out and stream that on Sunday. And I'm trying to get Ken to come along with me so we could just kind of hang out together and watch the parade. I think that'll be neat. But yeah. Gustavo says, are we going to see some phone party videos? No. But in terms of videos you are going to see, I have 2 videos left. I have one, which is a resort walkthrough. I think I'm going to post that tomorrow. And then I have a video I recorded with Henry from Toronto Tech and Transit, like just one of the nicest, friendliest guys on planet Earth. That video, I think, will come up on Friday. And then I've got absolutely nothing. So I'm going to have to get out and start recording again. Saturday, Sunday, etc. Yusuf says, how is the Dominican Republic? Nice. The weather was great. The beach was... You couldn't ask for a better beach. It was perfect. Nolan says, fingers crossed Ken doesn't stream snipe you today. Speaking of that, maybe the highlight of the trip, I was chilling on the beach. It was the one day that I decided I was going to roam because, or who's bugging the heck out of me? The resort Wi-Fi didn't work on the beach. It was kind of spotty, but in any building it worked really well. And I just wanted to have one of those like morning to late afternoon, spending it at the beach kind of days. Would be kind of nice to have the internet. So I hotspotted myself, and then my phone started like giving me an alert, and I noticed it was my security cam app, and my heart jumped, and I was like, and it like sprang to life on my screen, and I saw like a guy had just entered my apartment, and I was like, oh shit. And in the back of my mind, I was already ready to call my neighbor who works from home and is home all day to like go next door and like see what's going on in my apartment, and then, you know, call the cops and all that fun stuff. But then, even though I have like blackout blinds and none of my lights were on and it was super dark, this little camera I bought, I could see the person's face clearly. And it was the maintenance guy at my building. And they sent me like a notice to enter like a few days before. So I knew someone was coming in. I didn't object to it. They had to put some like ceiling around my balcony. But like, it's just amazing. Like, just like 10 years ago, that would have been unfathomable, right? That like you could be on the beach, like in another country, and someone enters your apartment and you can see it in nearly real time in video. Like that is so awesome. And the flight had Wi-Fi, so even if the guy like did that while I was on the plane, I still would have got the notice. So yeah, I'm just, it was just really cool that it worked. So that was kind of like the coolest thing that happened on the trip. You know, because I installed that thing a few weeks ago just because I was like, well, you know, if I'm going to be away for a week, I didn't have somebody like house sitting this time. So yeah, that happened. That's the thing. There's tons of them on Amazon, by the way. Novell costs. I don't believe in a ghost. Kathleen says that's a really good system. I think most of them work that way. There's a lot of like doorbell cams, but if you have an apartment, condo, a home, just get a little camera and like angle it on your main entranceways or anywhere someone might come in, and install an app, and it gives you like an awesome peace of mind. So you don't have to wonder like what's going on. If you have a pet, apparently, I think that's really cool as well. You could do that type of thing. Christo says your Star Wars figurines could have been stolen. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to steal. Like, there's nothing here for anyone to steal. And my hard drive is like an NVMe drive, and I take that out of my desktop and I bring it with me just because if someone took that and they got like my Windows password, maybe they could like get into my Google and hack my YouTube or whatever. So I'm just like not going to let that happen. So like, what are you going to do? Take my PlayStation? Like, there's nothing here to steal. But it's just cool to have e-bikes. There we go. Yeah, they could take an e-bike with a flat tire. That's what they would take, an e-bike. But yeah, Patrick says, is it a service you have to pay for monthly, or do you pay once? I'm currently paying for like a premium thing monthly, but it's only a few dollars. But it's actually free on a trial right now. The first 3 months were free, so we'll see how that goes. Shiv Mullin says, Johnny Strides, did you watch CJ Hoyle's skiing video from March 4th? No, I haven't yet got around to watching that. Tom Bike says, in the old days, I'd leave a little piece of paper in the door to see if anyone had entered. There's a clever idea. Just reading some of your messages. Hello, Motivas KO. Sorry, I can't pronounce your name. David says, greetings. Are there any videos of Punta Cana more than the beach? Forgive me if you already said just got here. No, there's the flight from Toronto to there, which actually did really well. That format of video apparently works really well because Toronto to Montreal did as well too. And then I did 2 beach walks. So I'm going to put one beach walk on Johnny Stumbles, and I'm going to put the other beach walk on Johnny Strides. So we've got 2 beach walks. I've got that and the resort video, and that's it. I didn't bother recording a video coming back. I was just like super tired and hungover and couldn't be bothered with it. Gabriella is ordering my spy camera tonight. I think it's a neat idea, especially if you're into like tech and gadgets and that sort of thing. Do you recommend going to the Dominican Republic? I wouldn't hesitate to go there. I liked Cuba. Like, other than the food, and I'm not a foodie, like that was the only downside of Cuba, but yeah, I thought it was pretty great. Rebecca says, any chance we'll see more videos of you cooking from your kitchen? Once I clean my kitchen, that's the thing. I got back last night. I did nothing. And I was like ridiculously productive today. Like when I came back last night, I was kind of disappointed in myself because I came back to kind of like a messy, unwelcoming apartment. Like my bathroom was a bit grimy and not clean. My bed wasn't made. Dishes were piled up. Things were dusty. Yeah, so I was kind of motivated. I cleaned my bathroom. Like I took everything out. Full clean. Everything. I cleaned the filters in my heater and the whole heating unit. And I my TV stand and another shelf I took apart and I like full dusted. I vacuumed. And then I sat down at my computer and I was going to make some YouTube shorts. And I just started doing my taxes. So I spent like a long time just finishing my taxes. So I did all this shit that I would normally procrastinate and never want to do. The only thing I didn't do was hit that submit button because, yeah, I owe a fair bit. But I'm probably going to do that tomorrow. I'm just going to double check everything. I'm going to go through Amazon, make sure I didn't miss anything, make sure I didn't miss any like travel expenses. Maybe I rented a car that I didn't claim or I'm missing a receipt or two. So I'm just going to go back and try to make sure I didn't miss anything that I could claim, but I'll be filing. But I did my taxes today. Like I am never this productive in a day. And I went to the store and I bought bananas to make some smoothies. So that's it. Rebecca says, wow, productive day. Yeah, I was pretty productive. Gabriella says, staying at a resort in Dominican, would I get to experience the authentic Dominican Republic? They're asking that to Wesley. I would say no, not at all. But you'll still experience a lot of friendly people. Herman says Johnny's back home already. I went for 6 nights. Most people probably don't go for that long. Susie says, did you drink coffee? Yes, it was not good. Or just different. Don't forget your employees. Shiblin says, the Ken Continuum is also nearing 1,000 Toronto walking videos. Holy shit. Yusuf, was it hot in Punta Cana? It was about 27, 28. It was absolutely perfect, actually. Hi, Johnny. Don't forget the Ontario stay vacation tax credit only for 2022. Am I eligible for that? I just used Wealth Simple and it kind of like auto applied for like the Trillium benefit and all those things. Then every once in a while you get a random deposit from the government that you didn't even know you were going to get. And you're like, thanks. Were those kids noisy all flight? Oh my goodness. Yes, if you fly during March break, you better damn well like kids because that plane is going to be noisy. It was like half kids. It was families with like 3 or 4 kids. The whole plane, it was just kids. It was really noisy. So get those noise canceling headphones. If you stayed somewhere in Ontario, you can. I didn't stay anywhere. Did I? When did I go to Ottawa? No, that was 2021, I think. So I don't think I'm eligible for that. This tax credit is for if you stayed in any type of accommodation in 2022. Sadly, I did not. Yusuf says you plan to go there for a vacation. What do you recommend to do there? The only thing I did was like this. I'm not into like the resort activities. Wake up, go to the pool or beach, eat, drink, wait till you're really tired, watch something on TV and go to bed. Repeat. Shiblin says, but he flew before March break though. Yeah, but I mean, a lot of parents take their kids out, right? They get slightly better deals or slightly better availability. Like not everyone leaves for March break during March break. A lot of people were going before March break as well. Gabriella says, Johnny, where on earth have you enjoyed your favorite cup of coffee? I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Mr. Hippo is here. We've been taxiing for a very long time, and we took I think we landed on runway 33, and the pilot was like, this is a very rare landing, and I don't think he'd ever landed on that runway before. I'm not much of a aviation expert. Gertesh says, how was the food in the DR? I can't speak to the local food off resort, but the food on resort, and this was supposedly like a good resort, was pretty meh. The teppanyaki was like fun as hell. The guy was like banging his stuff all over the table, throwing them up, catching them behind his back. He was doing the thing where he throws the food in everyone's mouth. He just put on a hell of a show, and then you get your food and you're like, ugh. Like the meat tastes kind of like it belongs in a stew or even dog food. Like a lot of disappointing food. My room came with room service, and I ordered a room service pizza, and it was terrible. It was like one of the worst pizzas. Like it was literally like any frozen pizza in the microwave would have came out better than this room service pizza. It was so bad I almost canceled my reservation at the pizza restaurant because it was like an a la carte thing where you would have to like book your restaurants in advance. And I am so glad I didn't, because that pizza was like the best or second best meal I had in the resort. It was phenomenally good. Like it was proper ass good pizza. Most of the food there would not hold up. Like in a restaurant here, like people would just be like that. It wouldn't fly, but that pizza would fly. Same with the steak restaurant. The filet mignon was excellent. Like 2 really, really good restaurants, and the rest of them not very good. Just not good. Anita says dog food. Yum. Hey, Rob. 94. Shivbalin says 100 likes. Well done, everyone. Turn and burn takeoff, says Julie. I didn't even notice that. Did it rain at all during your trip? It rained super, super heavy for like 10 minutes randomly one afternoon. I just happened to be in the room. I was actually editing a video on my laptop on the balcony when it happened, and it just like came down really heavy, but the skies were like blue. Then 10 minutes it stopped, and that was it. Gabriella says, man, I can only speak to this resort in my experience. I'm not a foodie. The buffets were okay. You could like kind of pick, like the omelets were good. Anything they made fresh in the buffets were good. Anything that was like sitting out was like not very good. Novel Costas looked like Albion Road we passed. Christo says, are you scared to leave the resort and venture out? No, I kind of wish I did actually, but I didn't this time. Did you get drenched? No, I didn't. Rebecca says they found the a la carte restaurants were hit or miss as well at a different Punta Cana resort. We also got a very sad pizza. Yeah, not quite as miss as the Cuba, but the food in like the Mexican resort. I've been to 2 resorts in Mexico, and both of them, it was just really good food across the board. And one of them was like a cheap 3-star-ish kind of resort. So I think Mexico definitely has a leg up there. Marie Palmer says, how many a la cartes did you have, Johnny? We stayed at the Occidental Grand, but I hear the one you were at beats it. Oh, that might have been just like a few resorts over. I did 5 a la cartes and 1 buffet, because the first night there, you have to like book your a la cartes in advance. So right when we got there, it was like dinner time, so we just went to the buffet. Because we didn't have reservations anywhere. But if you stayed at the Occidental, you got to stay at what I later found out was the best beach in Punta Cana, the Bavaro Beach. How did you mount your camera on the window to the airplane to film this spectacular takeoff, Susanna? I just held it like this. That's what I did. Herman says, how did the beaches compare with those in Mexico or Thailand? The beach was way better than what I've had in Mexico. One resort in Mexico was like a rocky beach. So like if you didn't have like those water shoes, you weren't going to have a very good time in the water. The other beach in Mexico was nice at the finest playa. It's in Playa del Carmen, but it was Bavaro Beach is incredible. It was easily better than both of those. Probably better than the beaches in Veradero as well. Gustavo says, hi, Johnny. We stayed at Finest Punta Cana, and it was not bad food. Going to Finest Playa Mujeres in November, so looking forward to it. Awesome, Gustavo. Check out my video through there. Gabriella says, did you see any sharks in the ocean? No. Hey, look, there's downtown Toronto below us. I'm thinking of making this like a YouTube short, actually. This is a awesome, awesome view that I can block with my Coke. No, I can't. Gustavo says, problem with the finest Punta Cana is the beach is very rough and not as nice as Bavaro. Aru says that is an amazing view in Valcas's Blur Street. Dahlia is headed to Cayo Coco, Cuba Saturday. First time ever on a plane. Holy shit, congratulations. So you're visiting, I'm assuming this is the first time you've ever been outside of Canada or the US? And your first time on a plane? Awesome. I hope you really enjoy it. Is that... I'm not familiar with that. I've only been to Varadero, but I hope you have an awesome time and I hope you enjoy it. And if you're doing the all-inclusive thing, take full advantage of everything that's available to you, including your first day there. Don't just stick to the buffet for dinner. Try to go to an a la carte. Shiplin says, sorry, my left eye is just itching up a storm here. Hi, Johnny. Your video is fantastic. I'm from Brazil, Fernanda. There's a country I've never been to. But thank you very much. Tom Bikes has been to Cayo Coco. Nice beaches there. Dahlia says, it's Lily. You're on your mom's YouTube. Well, I hope you have an awesome trip. If it's your first time ever on a plane, try to get the window seat. I think that'll help. And we are flying over Punta Cana right now. Holy shit, 1,000 Japanese yen. Arigato. Thank you very much for the support and the super chat and the 1,000 yen. Awesome. I might possibly be going to Japan in a few weeks. I think I've already ruled that out, but I'll be appearing in a country. I think I'm just going to live stream from there. I'm literally not going to tell anyone where I'm going, and we're just going to have a live stream. Devel Cost says, Johnny, when are you going to Colombia? I'm going to try to plan that when I'm back from the next trip. Any great pizza place you recommend in Toronto? I used to like Vesuvio, but they're closed now, so I'm a Domino's man. I'm a sucker for those coupons. Krista says Rio is dangerous. Gertej hasn't been on a plane since 2015. You're staying at the Hotel Playa Coco, Cuba. I hope you have a good time. Touring different places is from New Jersey. How am I? I am kind of tired actually, but I wanted to just make a video and go live. So here we are. I kind of missed you guys. Anna K says, it's that easy to film with the DJI Pocket 2. Cool. I would say you can't see a difference from the footage people film by using a window mount and GoPro. Well, you can here because when the plane turned, you could see the side of the window. So it can be a little challenging when the plane starts moving around and changing levels. Lisa vouching for Pizziolo as a pretty solid chain. I've been there a few times. Mike T says it would be cool to do the live stream but never say where you are. I could get away with that from the hotel, but where I am going, which is shockingly in less than 3 weeks. Oh man, I gotta start stocking up on videos. But where I'm going in less than 3 weeks from now, I think will be instantly recognizable. So I don't think I'll be able to get away with that. Maybe I'll post like a teaser on Instagram, but I'm hoping to just out of the blue go live. Maybe my first day there. I think that might be kind of cool. I've got an Airbnb. It's the first time I haven't stayed in a hotel on a trip in forever. Yusuf says, when are you going to Europe? I don't have plans on it this year. If a cheap flight comes up, I might. But I went to Amsterdam last summer. Holy shit. I forgot to file. I just did my taxes today, and I was like getting all my expenses in order because you can claim travel, and I forgot to claim my Amsterdam trip. That's a whole like flight, and I split the hotel so I can claim a percentage of the hotel. Thanks for reminding me. I gotta go revise my taxes after this. That might save me a few bucks. Thank you. Marie Palmer says, so is it Cambodia? Angkor Wat would be pretty recognizable, wouldn't it? We'll find out. But no, it is, the first place is not Southeast Asia. I'm going to Vietnam, and then I've got friends in Thailand, so I'm going to finish up in Thailand. But I'm going to go through Hanoi and Saigon. I would love to go through Da Nang and Hoi An, places I've been to before and think are awesome, but we're going to kind of speed run Hanoi and Saigon and then go to a few different places in Thailand. But the first country, no, it's not Southeast Asia. Is it Taiwan? Is it Japan? Is it Korea? Is it Malaysia? Is Malaysia Southeast Asia? I think it is. Well, it could be one of those. Gabrielle says, please get lots of rest. Yes, I'm hoping. I got to do my laundry after this. So I got a huge ton of laundry to do. And we are coming down on Punta Cana right now. I didn't really know what to do with this footage, so we're watching it now. Mike T has heard of all those cities from high school history class. Devin says, oh, the chair is spreading its wings tonight and flying. Can't Sleep wants to go to Jakarta and Mumbai. I'm not so hot on Jakarta. Like, it doesn't appeal to me. It looks, I don't want to say anything offensive, but it doesn't look all that appealing as a city to explore. I'm sure it's fascinating. I've done Manila. I'm not sure I want to go back to Manila, but the rest of Philippines is pretty awesome. But Mumbai would be awesome. I definitely want to go to Mumbai. Hanson says, make sure to visit Nha Trang, Vietnam. It's the Miami of Vietnam. I've been there. I went there on my first trip to Vietnam. Gabriella says, Johnny, can you do a tax extension in Canada? I'm not sure what that means, Gabriella, but if you put it in grade 2 level English, maybe I can understand and get back to you. Julie says, put this footage on Stumbles. You'd like to watch it back sometime. There's an idea. I might be doing that. Thanks, Julie. Tom will be going to Japan next fall for business. You're going to spend a month there. Where in Japan? That sounds like super exciting. Herman says, anyone here been to St. Barth or St. Martin? We are literally in the clouds right now. And thanks to everyone for tuning in and clicking the like button. We've got over 270 viewers and over 119 likes. Chatty Cathy in the house saying, hey, welcome back. Thank you. Good to see you, Chatty Cathy. I was so torn. I wanted to like do a live stream there, but it was like the sun was so bright. I wouldn't be able to see like my iPhone. Like I literally would not have been able to read the screen at all unless I like went under the shade. So that, and I was like pretty inebriated the whole time. Gabriella says, I would have been happy to do your laundry. My building is new laundry machines. So my old laundry card that has like $20 on it is useless. I got to find out how can I, like, what can I do with that? Can I get a refund? But the new laundry system uses an app, and you just, if your phone has NFC, you just tap it on the laundry machine. So I'm kind of excited about that. So I think I'm going to go do that after this. Yes, Lisa, I am back. Gordon says, this is a good Wednesday. Steven says, the furthest you've been is Orlando and Walt Disney World. Devin says, laughing your ass off, and if you don't have a smartphone, then you just buy a card from the machine and you can load it on the machine. But if you don't want to have a physical laundry card, you can just use your phone. So it's pretty awesome. Hey, my smart TV, which I have the stream on as a monitor to monitor, screwed up. Rebecca says, longtime viewer, first time commenting on the live stream. Thanks for reading our questions and comments. Sending love from Kensington Market, all the way down there, eh? That's quite far away. Thank you for the $6.99, Rebecca, and welcome to the community. You'll find 99.9% of the people are friendly and don't bite. And the other 0.1% are trolls who we tolerate. But thank you very much, Rebecca, for the super. And Everett C., longtime member and channel supporter for 13 months. Everett C, beautiful videos of your vacation. Thank you. I think I'm going to post the last one tomorrow. We'll get that out of the way with, and then it'll be all Toronto until I magically appear in another city far, far away. Shiblin says, do you plan to do any videos outside on Earth Hour?
Long time viewer, first time commenting on the live stream.
I don't know.
Thanks for reading our questions and comments. Sending love from Kensington Market.
Shy Curry or She Curry? Sorry if I mispronounced that, but says, first time commenting on your live. Welcome back to Toronto. Thank you. Ever try Ben & Jerry's vegan ice cream? No, I have not. Everett C, $20. Thanks again. No, thank you, Everett. Thank you so much. If I had an adult, well, I'll still cheers you with a Coke. Thank you, Everett. MJM says, can you set up a premiere for tomorrow's video? It'll be nice to see the countdowns you use. Maybe I can remind me at the end of the stream. Maybe I can show you that without
Thanks again.
Accidentally oversharing any info. But thank you again, Everett, and thank you, Rebecca, as well. Hanson says, when you're in Hanoi, I recommend watching the Water Puppet Show. It's really unique. Is that in the Old Quarter? I'm going to try to go see Train Street. I know they're trying to keep tourists out of it, but apparently you can kind of buy your way into it at one of the local vendors. I've been researching that. So I've got Train Street. I don't think I'm going to go to the Hanoi Hilton again. That place was sad enough to only see once, but I'm going to do the Old Quarter, Train Street, the Drinking Street, and maybe go check out the new Metro that recently opened there. Thanks for the info, Shivbalin. I think the flight's like a little under 4 hours. Goran says, did you film the entire flight? No, I just filmed the takeoff and the landing, basically. Hanson says, make sure to get tickets in advance. I'll look into it. But when it comes to like recording, like if it's like a puppet show that people go and they pay to visit, that's not really what I record. It's more like the experience of just being somewhere, walking from point A to point B, seeing cool buildings and that type of thing. If it's like a performance, I feel like I don't mind doing parades. I think that is worth filming. It's just kind of weird to show someone else's performance. I think it kind of takes away from that a bit. But maybe I'll go check it out. That sounds cool. Gabriella says, here's some moolah to go towards laundry or toward Ambien, whichever is more applicable after this live stream tonight. Thank you, Gabriella. I thought tomorrow was Friday, but tomorrow is Thursday. I might give myself another day off. I was like, you better live stream tonight and go out tomorrow and live stream. I might just take tomorrow off and start working my butt off again on Friday. But we'll see. But thank you, Gabriella, for the $10 in your support. Hello, Sean Hayden. Yusuf says, I've been your longest viewer for quite some time. Welcome to the chat. Bill Chow says, joining Hangout late. In summary, DR has great weather, mediocre food, and okay rooms. Anything else noteworthy? Incredible beach. Just absolutely incredible beach. And if you're looking for a beach vacation, you could ask Marie and Brad Palmer. I'm sure they know way better than me, but Bavaro Beach is like pretty amazing. It's probably one of the best ones in the Caribbean, or at least mainstream ones. Lisa says, don't you feel like you just got a freebie? Freebie what?
Here's some moolah to go toward your laundry or toward Ambien, whichever is more applicable after this live stream tonight.
Wesley says, Alexa, what day is it today? It's Wednesday. Anita says Friday is a storm, so yes. Oh, oh man, if we get another big weather storm, I guess I'm putting on the boots and going out there. Number 4 says, I plan on migrating to Toronto soon. The walkarounds definitely help me understand the lay of the land before even getting here. Well, welcome to Toronto in advance, number 4. Brad Palmer says, yes, the beach was the best part. And I get that, and I get the appeal of that. And as much as I don't like resorts, as much as I don't like the canned experience, I like having a town to explore. I like finding a place for breakfast, finding a place for lunch, finding a place for dinner. meeting other random people, staying in other places. As much as I love that, I kind of get it. Like the resort, you can just completely turn your brain off and just enjoy yourself and just go to the beach or go to the pool and just completely unwind. So I'm not opposed to going to another resort, actually. I'm not going to be a snob. I get it. I think it's pretty great if you're into that. I'm not. But once in a while, I think it's a pretty awesome experience. Johnny Strides, Sarah Pauly, who lives in Toronto, won Oscars as well. I was not paying attention to that. But I saw Ken's live stream. It was like, I was thinking on Sunday of doing a Sunday Night Live stumbles on the balcony, just on my laptop. You see the webcam. And then I saw that the Oscars were on. And then I saw that Ken was streaming. And I think his title was like better than the Oscars. So I was like, okay, not going to do it. And we are beginning our approach to the runway. So we'll be on the ground very soon. Number 4 says, come to Trinidad. You'd love it. I think I would love most places. But yeah, that looks like they've got some great weather for sure. I'm not super familiar with it. When will you visit the United States of America? I went to New York City in 2021, I think. I'm sure I'll go back probably later this year. Devin says Ken's stream was way better than the Oscars. Did you meet any nice doggies at the airport before boarding on the way back home? No, I didn't see any of that. Oh, I think part of my screen needs to be fixed here. There we go. I didn't see any of the drug sniffing dogs or anything like that. But the airport there was honestly a mess. And they make you do this stupid e-ticket, which is basically the information on your boarding pass. But they will not let you leave the country if you don't do it. And almost nobody did it in advance, so everyone's scrambling to do it. And it's just like, I got there 3 hours early. And then by the time I got through all of their checks, there's like 30 minutes until boarding. So it's like, you don't even have time to like sit down and relax. It's like run to Taco Bell, scarf that down, and now it's time to board. So it wasn't a great airport experience there. Wesley says, or Chris Mills says, not a bad airport in Punta Cana once you get past the counter nonsense. Just after I spent a minute dissing the airport there. Gustavo says, when we returned from Punta Cana, they put us in a line outside the plane and had dogs all over the place. We watched the CTV W5 special at the airport. Shimon says, if you go to NYC, you should meet up with AK, CFET. Yeah, and some of the other ones. I was on Action Kid's live stream when I was in New York City, and I was also in a collaboration video with him. Number 4, good advice. Don't visit around Carnival. Way too many people visiting to truly enjoy it. I believe you're talking about Trinidad, right? And I think this is when I stopped recording, actually. Nabel Costa should go to Boston and do an Ali BHG collab. There's an idea. Moderator, collab. On the first country I'm going to, though, on my next big trip, which will be primarily to get content from, unlike this last trip, I will be meeting a viewer, though. I did reach out to someone because I know that they lived here. And I was like, hey, do you have any ideas? What's a good place to go to? What's a good place to see? And it turns out I'm staying like down the street from where they are. So we're going to have a coffee and say hi. Maybe I'll ask, do you want to be in a video? Do you want to do like a walk and talk together? We'll see. But I will be meeting a viewer my second day in that country. Wesley says, do you think you're the more iconic Toronto streamer than Ken? I don't think either of us are iconic. Just people who walk around with cameras and talk. There's also some other people out there doing it too. Lisa says neat. Yeah, it will be neat actually, because they're one of those people that says hi in the chat once in a while and in the comments, but they're like just on the total other end of the world. So it'll be kind of neat to just be like, hi. Chatty Cathy says the airport staff in Puerto Plata is better than Pearson. You're shocked at the hospitality. You know, again, I landed at Terminal 3 and there was a huge rush of people and there was like monster lineups, but it moved really well. And the airport staff at Pearson were super friendly. The customs guy, who everyone says is like, they're these grumbly jerks, was like, welcome back to Canada. I hope you had a great trip. And like, he was saying this to every single person who walked by, like just a really friendly dude. Everyone was nice. Everyone was professional. The airport ran like clockwork. Like maybe they roll out the red carpet whenever they hear I'm coming. But like Pearson Airport, all throughout the pandemic until now, like I've had nothing but good experiences there. I don't know. I don't know. Like it's a decent airport. I don't. Jamie says they fired that guy already. I've never really had a bad experience there. Like, other than when I go through U.S. Customs. When I go through U.S. Customs, I get like the surliest, grumpiest, most unpleasant people on planet Earth. But I think everyone gets that when they do that. Can you do another live stream from John Tabor Park? I'll look into it. What is this video doing? Are we just chilling here until it says there's 15 seconds left. That's all. Maxim says, when are you planning to visit Ukraine? Sadly, I don't have plans to visit Ukraine. I don't know if that was a serious question or not, but we'll go when there's no active war there. I think that's a country that could probably use a bounce back and some tourism support when they get back on their feet again, hopefully sooner than later. Julie says, unfortunately, the people who did have a bad experience are much louder than those who had good experiences. Yeah, and they make shocking headlines. And I did see, some luggage kind of piled up and pushed off to the side more than you would normally see. And there were some people struggling with the machines that scan your passport. But really, like, I didn't do ArriveCan. I deleted that stupid app. And even though I didn't have ArriveCan anymore, it was literally like put your passport face down on the machine, answer a few questions. It gives you a slip. You hold the slip up in the air and you walk out of the airport and some guy like circles it and then you dump it off when you leave. It's a very smooth, automated process. Yeah, it's different because I'm Canadian arriving in Canada. So I guess I can't compare that to being Canadian arriving in another country. But again, I got no complaints about Pearson Airport. None. It's been pretty good. Nicholas says people in U.S. Customs are just trying to protect you. Yeah, like when the guy was questioning me about going to New York, asking me about my bank account and every personal detail and just generally being a smug asshole. I don't think he's trying to protect me. I think that was kind of a power trip. Anyways, this is unfortunately this is the bus from the resort back to the airport. I don't have audio on this because I was like talking with my friends. So, I mean, it's just kind of weird to have a personal conversation play back on a on a live stream. And a lot of the good stuff for this first part, there's some other resorts we're going by. We just pulled out of the resort or on the other side of the van, but there was no way to sit over there just because that was kind of the entranceway to the door. But anyways, this is looking out the left side of the van. I'm going to go to the washroom and I'll be back in a second, but enjoy this car ride to the airport in Punta Cana. Oh, someone noticed the Scotia Bank. Yeah, Scotia Banks, Taco Bell's, KFC's galore. This is something I missed. I did not have this in the Dominican. I was drinking like bottled water. Apparently, you don't drink the tap water, but no carbonated water, which I basically survive off of here. Thank you. I just want to say I love your videos. Thank you for your... I love your support. Thank you. You're very welcome. I hope Johnny does go-karting in Tokyo. Then how come there's no Tim's in the DR, says Gordon? I was so surprised to see Tim's like in Bangkok. And where I'm staying is going to be right next door to a Tim Hortons. I booked 2 days in Bangkok on my way back. So I'm going to be staying next to a Tim Hortons, which I think will be cool. But yeah, this is just cruising around the streets of the DR, making our way back to the airport. Chris Mill says lots of Presidente, I assume. Oh, that was like... I'm so glad. I stayed in like the Platinum section where they were like making a big deal about how you can get Heineken here and everyone else in the resort gets Presidente. But I'm like, why? It just makes sense. You're in the hot sun to have like a cold light beer rather than these little cans of Heineken. Like Presidente was definitely the way to go. Josephine has Tim's in the UK. Can't Sleep says go to edgy hipster cities like Shanghai. That is like the furthest place from edgy or hipster in the back of my mind. Come to the authoritarian ruled Shanghai. I've been to Shanghai. I rode in the bus right by like Oriental Pearl and all the skyscrapers, and I couldn't see shit because the smog was so thick. Novel Cost has never heard of Presidente. It's basically just your standard. Like in Cuba, what did they drink? Cristal, is it? Or Crystal? It's basically like that, but it was actually pretty good. I'm a fan. Gabriella says, Johnny, don't you know we're all your ride and die? One of my friends asked me, he sent a text like, so what was the COVID situation like there? I was like, I don't know. I saw like 3 masks the whole trip. Almost nobody on the airplane was masked up. It almost feels like we're back to normal, which is pretty cool. Pinesel says, welcome back. Did you manage to take part in any day activities outside of the resort? No, I was a little too inebriated and lazy to do that. Nicholas says, I know it's a dumb question, but are there palm trees in Canada? Not naturally. If they are, they've been imported. And they're pretty much on life support. Is it Shy Curry or She Curry? I'm going to say Shy Curry. P.S. You have a calm, soothing voice too. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much for the $22. I don't want to mispronounce your name, so I'm sorry if I'm getting it wrong, but thank you so much. It's funny because when I watch my own videos, like my voice is the part that gets to me. It's like, oh no.
P.S. You have a calm, soothing voice too. Smiley face.
You sound so bad.
Work. Thumbs up.
But I think everybody thinks their own voice sounds bad, so it is what it is, I guess. Novel Costa's palm trees in Canada is a form of torture. Yeah, I don't think we have any climate that could sustain them, right? Like, I got a notification from Netflix. Money Shot, the Pornhub story, is now on Netflix. Pretty sure I unsubscribed to Netflix, or unsubscribed, canceled it, and they're still... Why? Maybe this is their ploy to get me to come back, luring me in with a documentary about a porn website. E says the southernmost point of Canada reaches below the northernmost point of California. I watched a really cool documentary on how Canada was very close to having some Caribbean territories fall under its name, because a lot of them are like ex-British territories, and the UK wanted to kind of hand them off to Canada because as long as they were still under the British Commonwealth, it didn't really matter who administered them. And some of those countries wanted Canada to administer them, and some of them didn't. I think Jamaica was like strongly opposed to becoming a Canadian territory. But I guess fortunately for them, we wanted nothing to do with that. So even though we were very close to having our own version of like Puerto Rico, like the U.S. has, we ended up a lot of those countries ended up becoming fully independent. Yeah, interesting history there. I'm sure I butchered it, and I'm sure I got some facts wrong, but I never knew that. I never knew that if the UK got its way, like some of those countries would still be under the British Commonwealth and actually administered by Canada. Like, kind of interesting right there. Julie says we nearly got Turks and Caicos some years ago. There you go. Someone who knows what I was just trying to summarize. Gordon says I would travel too if I wasn't afraid of flying. You can take buses and trains. Raj says, on average, how long winter lasts in Canada? The last few days here, I think, are when it starts to feel like we're almost out of winter. Today was 7:30 p.m. when this stream started, and there were blue skies out the window. 2 months ago, 7:30 p.m., we would be entering like our second hour of total darkness. So it's pretty late. But winter goes from like officially starts in like mid-December, but in reality it's like mid-November till end of March. Like it's a pretty long ass time. And then we get those random like snowstorms in April every once in a while. Matt says, ever consider doing videos of Pelee Island and a ferry ride to there as well as Windsor, Essex County, Ontario? I have never considered it, but there is an idea. As far as doing things like that goes, I'm going to do a little more domestic travel this year. Like last month in February, I hopped on a plane and I went to Montreal. But you might have noticed traveling around Canada is kind of expensive. Hotels are kind of expensive. Like I would love to go to like the Fairmont in Banff and see that property. I think that's like probably a bucket list experience in Canada. Like if I could do one thing and go to one place, it would be that hotel in that city. There's a ton of awesome stuff to see, including some of the most spectacular nature anywhere, and to stay in like this storied, spectacular property. That would be my bucket list thing. But in reality is Canada is super expensive. So when deals hit, I'll take advantage. Like when crazy good deals hit, I'll take advantage and I'll get on cheap flights. But I'm going to burn out of cash if I start doing things like that. I'm sure Pelee Island is awesome, but I'm also sure like it's not sustainable. I'm not like some giant YouTuber. I also think it's kind of cool to take that angle, right? Like when you hear about those crazy deals, like to actually pull the trigger and do them, because like what else am I going to do? Like the dollar flight to Montreal. So that's going to be my approach. Nothing in Canada is going to be planned, or the US for that matter. When something too good to be true shows up in my inbox from like YYZ flight deals, I'm going to press order and go. And I have a bunch of Aeroplan points saved up, so hopefully I can hotel my way using that. But that's it. Max Smith says, expect U.S. domestic airfares to be 30% higher in summer of 2023 than 2022. Bookings in the USA are off the charts. Same for hotel rooms. Prices are up double digits over 2022. Yeah, hotel rooms in Toronto have hit insane levels. Like, I think we might be in for a rough tourist season based on how expensive it is to stay here. Gabrielle says the Fairmont. Is it Fairmount or Fairmont? I've heard Fairmont, but M-O-N-T is a French word for mount, right? Is it Fairmount or Fairmont? How do you pronounce it? Does anyone know? Let me know. But yeah, that looks... They have like one of the greatest collections of hotels in the world, don't they? They've got that awesome... Don't they have the Chateau Frontenac? Isn't that Fairmount in Quebec? And they have that beautiful hotel in Ottawa, and they have the Royal York in Toronto, and they have that hotel in Banff. And they're all these like gorgeous old buildings. Like, I don't know. I think they are doing it right. Why not move to the USA? Because I like healthcare. I'm self-employed. I don't want to be at the mercy. I know someone who is very well employed, They own a house, they make multiple six figures, and they're like $500,000 in debt because they had a surgery that was covered through their insurance. So, yeah, like stories like that just scare me out of living in the US. Sorry, great country, great people, but big hard no on that healthcare system. Matt Bro says, I usually stay in Mississauga when I visit Toronto. I tend to visit many parts of the GTA outside of the city, like biking in Caledon. Hey, I grew up when I was born, my parents lived in Caledon, so I stayed in Caledon for the first few years. Stephen Collins says, all old railway hotels. Yes, weren't they? The Fairmount or Fairmont in Banff was actually owned by CP Rail, right? Right up until recently. Fairmont for hotels and Fairmount for Montreal bagels, says Cannoli Queen. Thanks for weighing in. Gabriella says Mont. Anita says, yay, Mississauga. Chatty Cathy stayed at the Fairmont Chateau Laurier. Yes, very expensive. But they look nice. Like, the properties look well kept. I don't know anyone who went to the Royal York and said it was bad. Cannoli Queen used to work at a Fairmont in Vancouver, Fairmont Pacific Rim. There's also a really pretty one at Lake Louise. Gabriella says, oui, Fairmont Le Chateau Frontenac. Cool stuff. And we are on a highway in the DR. Julie says, yes, they were the CP and CN hotels originally. Yes. See, I learned something. I watched a video on the one in Banff by Bright Sun Travels. I think he's like a Toronto area based YouTuber who has the channel Bright Sun Films. And he called it the Fairmount, the whole video. And that's where this got stuck in my head, because in my mind, I've always called it the Fairmont, right? It's just one of those things where, like, and he was saying Fairmount. I'm like, this guy can't be wrong, though. Like, there's no way this guy's pronouncing it wrong. This guy's like going gallivanting on all these like expensive cruise lines and staying in like Disney hotels, which are super expensive. And now he's going to this place in Banff on his own dime, it appeared. Like, there's no way he's saying it wrong, but maybe he was. Action Ken went to Chateau Frontenac and it was stunning. Did he stay there though? Shiv once considered doing a bike trip with CJ Hoyle. I'll try to do another collab with him. Lisa says call one and find out. Action Skating is here. Sean, awesome. Welcome to the stream. That is true, Bill Chow. Nicholas says in New York, EMS isn't legally considered an essential service. Apparently in New York, though, if you are in an accident and the paramedic treats you at the scene, you can refuse being taken to the hospital and you don't have to pay for the treatment at the side of the road. So at least they have some kind of basic, in theory, treatment there for everyone. Slapshot says, must be nice to have all that money. Do anywhere you want to go. Good for him. Not good for the rest. Maxim says, what part of Toronto is better for renting? Anyone? The part that you can afford. Unfortunately, it's come to this. My typical advice would be somewhere walkable with good transit, but those are becoming few and far between in terms of what is affordable to most of us. Gabriella says many of the Fairmont hotels in Canada resemble a combo of Scottish castles and French chateaux. That is very true. And I think Bright Sun Travels pointed that out in their video, if I'm not mistaken. You should watch the YouTube shorts by Take the Bike YouTube channel. He made some good shorts. I will. I saw Henry posted one about riding bikes on the sidewalk, which was one that I had the idea to do. Speaking of which, more people attacking me for my videos of cars running me down, telling me that I should be yielding to them and giving them right away over me. Can't Sleep says the uber rich have a moral duty to make mental health care available to everyone. The uber rich are going to do what the uber rich do. It's our elected representatives that don't just have that. They actually have the power to do it, but they won't. Slapshot says, I'm a U.S. Canadian dual citizen born in Canada, American parents. You have Medicaid for the states. The U.S. government will pay for everything, government subsidies. Awesome. I wish everyone could say that in the U.S. But like I said, I know someone who has a good job. They own a house. They make tons of money, and they're like $500,000 in debt because they had surgery that was covered under their health insurance. So, yeah, their life is basically set back tremendously. So I don't know. This is not a political channel, but that part scares the hell out of me if I actually lived there, because that could happen to most people. Wesley says, you're actually loving the views of the DR. Whenever I'm in a country for the first time, I'm usually just like glued to the window. You could be talking to me and your words are going in my ear, but I'm just like fascinated by everything outside the window. Fairmont hotels and resorts are also around the world. We visited one in Dubai. Our friend was transferred from working at the Banff location to Dubai. I'm guessing the one in Dubai is not like a classic old building, right? JK says chemo treatment. A friend told me his bill in the US recently, $31K for his first treatment. Yeah, and you hear stuff like that, like how much an EpiPen costs. I don't know. It's depressing. I think at least basic healthcare for everyone should be a human right. Like, we have the means to do it. Why isn't it? Call me a socialist if you want. I don't think that's an unattainable thing for humanity to get figured out. I think we are waiting to make a left turn here that'll take us in towards the airport at this point. That's what I think this holdup is. You can see my hand on the screen. Double Johnny hand action. So we're going to go left and make our way over. Are we going to go left? Look at these streetlights are kind of fascinating to me. Genki says Loki. Okay, Sheena deleted the message. I'll just answer that question. No. Gabriella says, I know you said you were born in the US, but does watching this video make you want to visit the Dominican Republic tomorrow? That was directed at Wesley. Maxim says, is it possible to find a one-bedroom in Toronto for $2,500 with utilities? Yes, that's actually the cost of the average one-bedroom in Toronto now. So you can find that. 10 years ago, if you had $2,500 to spend, you could get yourself a 2-bedroom and a den with a parking spot. That was like a 1-bedroom would have been like $1,800. A studio in a condo would have been like $1,200. In an apartment building would have been like $800-900. But we've gone to crazy town since then. So yeah, $2,500 will get you like the average 1-bedroom in Toronto. If you choose to go the rental building route, you could get them for under that. If you want a condo and you don't want to have like any type of rental protection, you could get them for over that if it's a newer building. Gabriella says, why was there a dinosaur on the other side of the highway? That's a good question. I don't know. Why was there a dinosaur on the other side? Dane says, Chateau Frontenac in Old Quebec is beautiful. Stayed there a couple of times. Luckily, your company footed the bill. You really enjoy my channel. Thank you. Maybe I need to do like a Fairmont hotel for this channel. Maybe. I've done a lot of the videos or high-end hotels in Toronto, courtesy of a friend staying there who gave me access to the rooms. But maybe I'll have to go there. Maybe I'll burn my points on one. I don't know. I've been to the King Eddie in Toronto, but I've never been to the Royal York. Novelka says there was a dino on the other side of the highway because the traffic was too heavy for it to cross. Novelka, do you ever say anything serious? Are you just always the humorous one? The one trying to make me look not as funny? Maybe I should ban you, and then people will be like, yeah, that guy was a jerk. Just kidding. We love you, Novelka. There's just like a big random ditch. I wonder, that's probably like a runoff or flood prevention. I don't know. Just there on the left. So if you're wondering, uh, we booked this place through booking.com, so it did not include airport transfer. Normally, when people do these all-inclusive trips, the flight and the resort is all like a big package, and that includes like a bus or minibus or even a taxi from the airport to the resort. They kind of just shuttle you there. They take you back to the airport. This one was kind of booked a la carte. So like the flight was booked separate. And the way this resort worked was if you booked at the resort through the resort website, that included transportation to and from the airport. But if you didn't, you had to pay for it. So it was cheaper to do it through booking.com. So that's how we did it. And then we had to arrange our own way there and back. And we booked, one of the people in my group booked a taxi while we were in Toronto on booking.com to pick us up at the airport and take us to the resort. And booking.com charged their card. But when we got to the airport, we found out that that booking did not exist. So we ended up just going with a random guy, and it was $35 USD. And then it was $35 to go from the resort back to the airport. Well, 40 with the tip. The dinosaur was Adventure Park, their version of Dino World. Thank you, Chatty Cathy. Nicholas says, have you been to historic Richmond Town? It's a historic town, New York City. No, I have not. But I have been to the capital, Albany, New York, which is a pretty awesome town as well. But I'll have to look into that. Clinton says, when I visited the DR in 89, I was greeted by a dead man who was hanging from an electrical pole. Missed him by that. Wow, that is nuts, Clint. Sorry you had to experience that. Sounds kind of shocking. Gordon says children and seniors have one thing in common. They lie to adults. Aren't seniors adults? And why? What's their motivation for lying? Yeah, Shivlin, maybe. I'm going to be doing my live stream. I've reached out to Ken. Maybe Henry can come along. If anyone wants to join, do you know where I am? You're free to do that. Vivian says I take offense to it. Yeah, the biggest liars we know are adults, right? Are politicians. So let's just say it's a part of the human condition. So we are pulling in to the airport where there's a parade of minibuses. I think I stop recording pretty soon. Can't Sleep says, ever been to Cabo? No, I haven't. Sapan says, I'm planning to join the St. Patrick's Parade on Sunday. Sapan, awesome. I think I will be somewhere near the start of the parade. Last year I was set up on Bloor Street in Yorkville. I'm going to check out the route again, but I'll probably be somewhere up near the front. If you get a chance to talk to Ken, encourage him to come out and stream as well. Who's Jaw says, I'm late to the stream, but welcome back, Johnny. Hopefully you enjoy your trip and not get too drunk. I don't know if drunk is the right word for it, but like it was so hot, but I probably had over a dozen beers every day. Like it literally just passes through you like water. You wake up, you go to breakfast, you go to the beach at like 10:30. Somebody gets up and is like, I'm getting drinks. Do you want any? And you're like, yeah, sure. Or like the person working in the beaches comes around, like next thing you know, it's 10:30 and you are still drinking. All right, so these videos, this is taking off from Punta Cana, going back to Toronto. These are not filmed by me. I am not holding the camera, so that's all I'll say to that. The happy-go-lucky one says, hello, Johnny, you joined late. Hello, the happy-go-lucky one. Kathleen says 12 beers is okay to have on vacation. Yeah, but when you do 12 beers like 6 days in a row, that I mean, where I come from, if you do that here, you have a problem. You have a serious problem. But when you're in like 28-degree weather on vacation, you're like, this is just the way it goes. And you see people with those like giant like thermoses or drinking cups, just getting them refilled. And they're just going all day long as well. Action VJ says drinking all day poolside sounds like a good vacation. Bill Chow says, Henry, Toronto Tech and Transit has a good policy. Anyone who wants to be a moderator can become one. He has about 30 moderators, including me. That sounds kind of like organized chaos, Bill Chow, but as long as people don't abuse the power, awesome. Vivian says, Lisa, you're right. He needs a personal assistant to keep an eye on him. Action VJ doesn't drink unless he's on vacation. You lived in Toronto on and off over the years and have been teaching in remote Canada and the Middle East since COVID. Well, glad you found the videos comforting. I'm going to turn myself off for a second here. I'm back. Action VJ says Mod Squad, we roll deep. I've had some very, very faithful mods who I'm super grateful for. Kathleen says beer cools you down in that heat in the Caribbean. Yeah, and one thing this resort did was they did pour very, very light. So like their cocktails barely had any alcohol in them. But if you start tipping, they started pouring a lot heavier. I noticed I would just tip in spurts, like, because you're just getting back and getting up and going to like the same people over and over again. But once they start to see like, okay, this guy's a tipper. When I was bringing drinks back to my friends, they were getting stronger, right? Like the one person drinking like gin tonics were like, these are definitely not the same gin and tonics that I was having earlier. Any iced coffee in Kahlua? No, can't sleep. Hanson Host says e-bike season is upon us soon. Do you have any recommendations for under $2,500? Depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking for like fat tire bikes? Are you looking for like range? Do you want a stealth bike? Like, I'm probably not the guy to be recommending e-bikes. I've got two that I love, but there's like thousands of them out there. But I would be, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend either of the ones I have, even though one of them has a flat tire. Ochu TV, did you go there alone? No, I went to if I was going alone, I would not have gone to a resort. But no, I went there with a couple of people. There's 3 of us in a room. Walk every day is one of those moderators. You've never abused your power, nor do you know how to. Can't sleep usually gets properly sauced at the airport bar. That'll probably be me soon. Dial Up Dan says, happy you made it home safely. I meant to tell you earlier, you took delivery this week of a new Travel Pro carry-on suitcase like the one I have based on my experience and recommendation. Thanks. You're welcome. I hope you enjoy it, Dial Up Dan. I've now taken it to Montreal and on this trip, and I'm like thrilled with it. It's very high quality. It fits in all those like little metal boxes that say like your carry-on has to fit in here. It's got 1 million pouches. It's got the lock built in. It's a good brand. I'm assuming it's going to last a long time. Good stuff. Shivbone says, Giant Strides, was it sunny on your return to Toronto? No, it was cold. It was cold, and I took a lift back because I didn't have a coat. Like, if I was bundled up properly, maybe I would have taken transit back. But I pulled up Lyft, and it was like, next ride coming in like 3 minutes, $35. I was like, okay. I checked Uber. Uber was like, next ride in 18 minutes, and it's going to be like $42. I was like, this is a no-brainer. I'm going to order Lyft. So I ordered Lyft, and then after like a few minutes, I noticed like the car hadn't moved. And I was like, what? And then after like 5 more minutes, I'm standing outside, by the way, with no coat, and it's freezing cold. And like, the friggin' car is not even moving on the map. I'm like, is this driver clowning me? Is he just sitting there, like, not coming? So I sent him a message like, hey, you know, you on your way? And he's like, yeah, stuck in traffic. Apparently what happened was Uber like adjusted for this traffic jam, and it estimated that it would take like 18 minutes to come. Lyft didn't. Lyft just assumed that the driver was a few minutes away, and it charged accordingly, whereas Uber charged more because it took the driver, because they were wasting more time, I guess. So, yeah, Lyft was cheaper, and it took just as much, but I would have waited inside if you guesstimated the wait correctly, Lyft. It told me 2 minutes, and it was actually closer to like 25 minutes. Chris Mills received his e-bike conversion kit after a long wait. Under Johnny the Influencer, under the influence. I'm probably not going to do a whole lot of drinking or anything like that the first half of my next trip. I'm going to be like making content. Okay, time to relax. Yeah, we are taking off from the DR, and again, this is not me holding the camera. We're making our way back, and I should have... Yeah, there's no audio on this one because we're just talking, and I think you guys don't want to hear a conversation, nor do I want you to hear our conversation. But beautiful, sunny Dominican. How long is this video? This one... Okay, this one's only 4 more minutes, and then the next one, which will be the last one, is coming into Toronto, and there was absolutely a spectacular sunset, some of which was recorded on the video. So definitely stay tuned for that if you're into that. JD says, how was your trip? How was Swoop? Swoop was great. People were friendly. The airline, I mean, the plane took off and it landed. We got to where we were going. It was 30 minutes late to the gate both ways, but I mean, when that's the only thing that goes wrong, really nothing went wrong. So yeah, I got no reservations about taking Swoop again. Susie says, did you do a sunrise video? Let's not talk about it. Ochu says, you should plan a trip with your fans sometime soon. A trip? That's kind of bold. Meeting? Sure. I'm going to meet a fan, or I don't know if fan is the right word. Viewer? I think I don't have fans. I have people who tolerate me and like the videos. But I'm going to meet a viewer on a trip in about 3 weeks from now. Gabriella says, not on the first half of your trip. Not too much on the first half of the trip. I want to make some videos. Speaking of which, I need to go to the little boys' room again, but I will be back. I believe that is Bavaro Beach, actually, down below. I'm pretty sure I saw the resort. And I remember sitting by the beach watching planes fly over. So I think this is the the route that I was watching, actually. Well, Bavaro Beach is one of the ones that we're going by, at least. But I'm pretty sure I saw the resort. Gabriella says, yay, gorgeous view. And there is about 1 minute left of this video, and then we're going to be landing in Toronto during a pretty awesome sunset. Unfortunately, we were on the wrong side of the plane to get the skyline in. So we got the Mississauga skyline. So it's kind of the lesser of the two that you could have got, but we'll see that. What was your reaction to the train derailment in Ohio? You know, I've missed that whole thing. I haven't really been paying attention. I was so busy like trying to get ready to go on this trip, and now I'm gonna have to get ready to go on another one. I don't know. Don't ask me about Silicon Valley Bank either going under. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in the world. Sorry about that. My priority is doing laundry after this live stream. Sometimes you need to unplug and get away from it all. Although what was funny was on the flight back, I was hoping to just like go through Reddit, and yeah, that Reddit was down for the entire flight. The viewers are your fans. You have a community that has become fans. Thank you, Ochu TV. Johnny was wearing a striped shirt you can see in the window. That was not me filming, Chatty Cathy. That was not me recording. That was not me. JD says, when's the next trip? In 3 weeks. All right, Wesley T, have a good night. This is the last video of the night that I have. And we are landing during a sunset, which I think was pretty cool. We were on the wrong side of the plane. And again, this is not me recording. This one is actually... There's an interesting person recording this. Because... Anyways, maybe we'll save that one for another day. But we are looking out towards the sun, obviously, but the Toronto skyline was on the other side. And the pilot told us that due to the winds, we are going to be landing on runway 33, which is apparently seldom used at Pearson. I don't know if I got that right, but we certainly, rather than landing like in the normal orientation, this was like a south to north landing, which is pretty interesting. JD says Thailand. That'll be the tail end of the trip. Again, sorry for the camera work. This wasn't me on the camera. I was actually sitting in the aisle seat. But hey, they did a good job. Maybe I should turn myself off so you can see the sun. There it is. There we go. Sorry, I'm all itchy in like this area. I think the sun like dried me out. Do you listen to music on flights? You know what? I put my noise canceling headphones on and I tend to listen to nothing. I'll watch stuff. Like I'll pull my laptop out and I'll watch something, or I'll watch something on my phone, but not so much music. Gabrielle says you need to unplug and then you need to plug in the washing machine. Julie says you have it right. 33 is only used if the winds are very strong from the north. So we've caught kind of a rare landing angle, right? Going in this direction. We're going to swoop down. I think I cut part of this out, but we're going to swoop down below the clouds and then we'll be looking westward towards Mississauga. Did I see the collaboration between Ken, Henry, and Sapand? I saw the video title, but I think Henry's stream got taken down because there was a copyright in it. But I saw the title. I just haven't been watching YouTube. I just learned there's a new Jet Lag the Game out. One of my favorite series on YouTube. So I've started watching that today. I was watching that while I was cleaning. But yeah, I'm way behind in terms of what Ken and the other Toronto YouTubers have been up to. Carl Roth says, welcome back. How was the cold beer? It was excellent. Had way too much of it. But I almost exclusively drank the Presidente beer. Now I cut that camera angle. I think there was just a nasty glare or something. I don't know why I cut that. Whoops. Cut it again. Sorry. Again, this is not me recording. And City Skylines 2 is coming out this year. You should finish Stridesville before the new game comes out if you can. Finish Stridesville. I have completely forgotten all the game mechanics. I think it would be better to start building a new Stridesville. But yeah, maybe we can find some time to do that. I'm definitely going to buy City Skylines 2. I think that's definitely a game developer worth supporting at least. All right, we've got about 9 minutes left on this, and I do get the full landing. Linda Jane Jackson says, kudos to the mystery person recording this. Would you believe that this was someone who saw the camera and was really interested and kind of fascinated by it? And that they are 8 years old? Someone was just like enamored by the camera, and I was like, do you want to try? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, okay. So that's the secret. This is an 8-year-old recording. I hope I made their day. I hope they seem to really enjoy it and think it was cool. So there we go. I wish I was sitting at the window recording it, but this is the next best thing, right? Putting an 8-year-old child to work. In fairness to the child, their mom was appreciative of me letting their kid hold the camera, and the kid seemed over the moon that they had that chance to do it. So yeah, child labor on the Johnny Strides channel. I did say, hey, I might put this video on my live stream, and they were like really happy with that. So thank you for doing this for me. Linda Jane Jackson says, well, 8-year-old, more kudos. Sheena says, aw, bless the 8-year-old. Emo's music channel member for 6 months. Everyone, I now have 1,100 subscribers. That's a lot of people, Emo's music channel. Thank you for your support of this channel, and congrats on the success for your channel. Thank you, Emo's music channel. GD Kid was thinking about if the parent had anything to say about it. Yeah, I would never do something like that without running it by the parent. Just because you never know, right? And because I used to teach kids that were that old, you kind of get a sense of what you can just let them do on their own and what needs a parental sign-off. And this just struck me as one of those times where, like, yeah, well, especially because, like, I'm not even the kid's teacher. I'm just a weird stranger who has a camera. Right? But mom was into it. The kid was into it, so worked for me. Shiblin says that's Lake Ontario. That is, and that is like Port Credit off in the distance straight ahead. Chris Mills says someday when that 8-year-old kid is a famous director, they will say it all started with Johnny. We created the next Quentin Tarantino. Sapan says gorgeous view. I thought so. Sheena says kid did a great job. I locked the horizon on the camera, so when I gave them the camera, I locked the horizon so they couldn't accidentally like move it up or down. It almost looks like we're not even moving right now. But I assure you, within 9 minutes, this video will be over and we will have landed. And that's probably when we'll wrap up the street. Carl Roth says put a credit in for the 8-year-old. Should I shrink myself down so you can see more of the gorgeous skyline or sunset over Mississauga? Less of me. Put myself in my place down here in the corner. One thing that happened today that really annoyed me was I decided to splurge on one of my hotels on the trip. There's a hotel that I've wanted to stay at. It's really, really unique. It has one of the coolest infinity pools anywhere on planet Earth. It just looks like such an awesome hotel. And I was like, okay, I'll stay there for one night. I'll stay there for a night. I'll get to experience it. I'll make a video out of it, so I'll get some content out of it. I'll make it worth my while. And I'll answer that question in my head of like, what is it like to stay there? So I booked it through Agoda, but I booked it with no, like, a non-refundable booking, and I only booked it for one night. So I paid it. Today, I was like, oh, I wonder how much that place is. It was like 40% cheaper than the night I booked it. So yeah, like I could have stayed there for like multiple days, or like just stayed there for the one day for a lot cheaper. And I had already like locked in, I've already paid for it. It's already non-refundable. Like so yeah, that happened today. So yeah, once you book your hotels, if you book it non-refundable, don't go check the prices again. Just walk away from it, because there's a good chance you might end up kicking yourself. I was thinking there's no way it's going to be cheaper. It's only going to get up. All the hotel prices were going up and up as every day goes by, but this one went down. JD says, Johnny, did you get the e-bike fixed? No, I am looking at the flat tire right now. I'm going to see if I can get it fixed in the coming weeks, but I've still got my other e-bike. So it's not the end of the world. But yeah, I thought this was absolutely spectacular, this sunset. The 8-year-old will invite you to his school and get lots of his classmates to add themselves to your list. Maybe. Shivlin says, here comes Mississauga. Isn't that Colonel Sam Smith Park directly below the plane right now? I don't know. I don't think so. I think, no, we would have, I don't know. But we're going to see Lakeshore Boulevard, then we're going to see the QEW, and then we're going to see Queensway, and then we're going to go over in the Mississauga City Center and see the Mississauga skyline. Gabriella says, splurging on one hotel for one night. Excellent idea. I've done it and never regretted it. I did it twice on this trip. I did it at this one hotel, and the last night of my trip, I'm staying at like a pretty high-end hotel. But that one I'm using Aeroplan points for, so I'm not paying out of pocket for it. JD says, if you can build a computer, surely you can fix a flat. The problem is it's a rear fat tire on an e-bike, and the motor is mounted to the rear axle, and I just don't want to deal with it. I'll have somebody fix it. It's not a big deal. There's Mississauga. I believe that's like the city center and Square One in the center of your screen there. Gabrielle says, grab that deal and don't look back. Laura says, greetings, friend from Mexico. Greetings, Laura. Thanks for tuning in. Shiblin says, I passed by Christie Pitts, and that's where RM Transit lived before he left Toronto. Well, you'll have noticed that when I did my collaboration with him, we started at St. Clair West, and we ended up right at Christie Station. So, yeah, we basically walked to his area, and then he got to go home, and I got to take the subway back to my home. Sorry again, I don't have the audio on this. But apparently this is a really unique and rare view. Not just are we hitting runway 33, which is seldom used, but we're getting it during a sunset. Sapan says, time for landing at Toronto Pearson Airport. There is Highway 401. That's how you know you are super close. Oh, they're discontinuing the tokens for good. Matt, yes, this is the 8-year-old. I just let them hold the camera until the battery was actually running out any moment. So kind of grateful that it held on this long. And this is like the broken camera. The problem is there's like sand in the mechanism, and it's like the screen is like randomly fogging up for some reason. Like I just can't trust it. So I'm probably gonna replace it this week. Gonna book another trip to Toronto in September. Can't wait. 300 odd pounds from Ireland. That is a hell of a bargain, Rory. We can't even get a domestic flight for that. That's an awesome deal. I would do that in a heartbeat if I saw Toronto to Dublin pop up. And we've done it. We've landed. And the people started clapping. The only flights I've ever been on in my life where people clap are flights to and from the Caribbean from Canada. Every other flight, even when we've landed in like crazy turbulence and it feels like it's not going to go well, like people don't clap. This is I think a uniquely Canadian thing, actually. Gabriella still can't believe an 8-year-old captured all of this aerial beauty. Hopefully they catch the stream. I gave them the channel information. So hopefully they can see their handiwork. And if you're watching and you reach out to me, I can send a copy of this footage to Google Drive and send you the link so you can download it and have your own copy as well. I forgot to add that when we are saying goodbye on the airplane. Carl Roth says 300 pounds to Canada is a great deal. CZYTV had an impressive experience with Porter Airlines and Billy Bishop Airport. Awesome. If it weren't for them costing me a lot of money by canceling my flight at the last minute and not reimbursing me, I too would have had an excellent experience with Billy Bishop. Roy says we clapped coming back from Barcelona to Belfast. We all thought we were going to die. Really scary mad storm. There we go. 33L left. You are on. 33R is over between the terminals and maintenance buildings. Julie is an expert at Pearson Airport. It's always good when there's people with like, I'm kind of a generalist. I know a lot about things, but I don't really know a lot about things at the same time. You know, I know a little bit about a lot of things. So it's always good when people who know a whole lot about things can chime in and provide us with such information. And we've definitely got a lot of transit aficionados who can tell you like, oh, you're on a New Flyer bus. That's from 2000 and whatever. And they can point out interesting facts and tidbits like that. Johnny, have you ever boarded those propeller planes with ashtrays in the armchair? People clap when those land. I think I was on one of those in the Philippines, actually. When I flew to Boracay from Manila. I think that was the plane I was on. Julie says it's a hobby and related to your job too. Awesome. Well, thanks for the information. I am out of footage. So I think I thought today was Thursday. So I was going to go live today and then go live on Friday. And then Sunday was going to be a double live because I was going to do the St. Patrick's Day parade and then go live on the Stumble stream. I have no idea what I'm going to do now, what the schedule is. I will go live again either tomorrow or Friday, probably again on Sunday for the St. Patty's Day parade. And then if I have the energy, we'll do a Sunday night Stumbles. If not, I can always do Stumbles on like Monday or Tuesday. But yeah, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. We are at 199 likes. Can we get one more like, guys? One more? Come on, do it. One more like. And over 250 viewers. Thanks. Still hanging on almost 2 hours later. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Thanks to those who sent support. It means a lot. It's been a while since I've been streaming. Huge thanks to our moderators and Vivian Johnson for your support in this morning's premiere as well. Marie Palmer, Chatty Cathy, Brad Palmer, Chris Mills, Linda Jane Jackson. I might have to ask some of you experts where to go next time I'm feeling up for a trip to the DR. Gabriella, Bill Chow, Anita, Shivbalin, Kathleen, Sheena, everybody, thank you so much. I will try to go live, but tomorrow morning, it's going to be, maybe what I'll do tomorrow is I'll make a YouTube short of some of these flying videos. Maybe I'll do like the sunset landing. Maybe I'll do the one over the skyline when I'm flying out. There we go. So I'll put up some YouTube shorts in the coming days. Oh, my camera is barking at me. But I will go live either tomorrow or Friday, and then again Sunday. Happy St. Patty's Day in advance. Thanks again to everyone. Stay warm, stay safe, and I will catch you in the next one. Yoink.